Hey guys, Kat here, and thank you so much for being here with me on my channel. I appreciate you so much. We are going to be going over some of the workouts that I have been doing. Hopefully you guys will walk away with some tips and some inspiration for your own journey and your own workouts. And let's get started. As usual, I started out with my regular warm-up, which I will not be showing just because I've showed it so many times in other videos, so feel free to watch those if you want. I started with these compression taps to warm up for handstands, and they definitely felt better than they ever have, so that was very, very cool to feel and discover today. Then of course I moved on to working on handstand. It is my main goal right now besides planche, and it felt a little bit not incredible on this day. But I did two versions, one with my back facing the wall and then one with my chest facing the wall. I've very much so been working on opening up my mid back and my shoulders and my lats though, so I will get this down. In between sets of handstand, I did these goblet squats, and I'm using a 30-pound dumbbell here. I had watched this video, which of course I will link down below, by Moves Method, and I think it's pronounced Vanya, but Vanya was talking about how in order to get mobility in some of these movements, we have to remind our bodies that we're safe in it. And we can do that by things like adding time under tension in certain movements and doing things like adding weight. So that's why for this goblet squat, I really focused on sinking down deep into the squat, because normally I can only go to 90 degrees. But I'm trying to remind my hips, hey, we're safe, we're okay in this position, we can sink down this low, let's open up whatever needs to be opened up and strengthen whatever needs to be strengthened. And they actually felt pretty good. Definitely very challenging, but I can definitely feel the benefits of it, so I'm going to continue on with these goblet squats. Then I went and did these single leg side step ups. And in this movement, I really focus on shifting all of my weight into the foot that is on the box. So it's really easy for your leg on the floor to take over and press yourself up, but we want to try to avoid that. Take a moment to really shift into that leg and that hip. And this is quite the booty burner. And because I've been working so much planche and handstand and dips and push-ups, I want to make sure that I am getting some of these horizontal rows in. And if you notice, I place my thumb above the bar, and this helps me to activate my back a little bit more and a little bit less biceps in it. This was actually really cool because I was able to do 25 reps, and I've never been able to do that many in a row. In between sets of that, I continued on with Vanya's kind of method, and I added weight to these hinges. So this is absolutely bonkers for my inner thighs and my hamstrings, and I definitely felt it the past few days, to be honest. And just to make things a little bit more interesting, I decided to add this 12-pound sandbell. So that made this movement a little bit more challenging, which I felt like I needed. So I did 2 more sets, and I was able to get 20 reps each on these. After those movements, I worked on my toes to bar, which I absolutely do not enjoy, to be honest. It is not a fun movement for me. I hate it. It's really uncomfortable, but I do it because I know it's really great for all of my goals. In between sets of those, I brought the 10-pound sandbells in this time instead of using dumbbells, because this was way more comfortable to rest on my knees, and I was able to apply pressure with my hands then a little bit easier than when I had used the dumbbells. So I'm gonna continue with these sandbells. And I've been continuing to finish out my workouts with some single arm rear delt cable flies, just for that extra love for my rear delts, focusing on improving my posture and creating a nice, healthy, balanced shoulder. Then a lovely follower on Instagram sent me a video from GMB, and it suggested to go into plow pose before going into wheel, and this actually helped my wheel out so much. I know it's not pretty, but this is an entirely huge improvement from where I started. So thank you so much for sending this to me. I am just floored by how much better this was. And as I was taking the thumbnail selfie, which is always kind of a struggle for me, to be honest. I'm like, what kind of pose do I do now? my lovely coworkers came over to show me how it's done and how I should pop my booty. The next day after my warm-up, I started out with some box handstand work. And before this, I had been feeling my wrist a little bit, and it was a little bit irritated, which I'm pretty sure is from all of the planche work, the handstand work, as well as stretching it pretty dang far in wheel. And I decided to just do this one set and then give myself a nice rest. I have been resting it for the past 2 days and it's getting better. I just want to be smart about it, and I don't want to push through pain that needs just rest and recovery instead. So I have learned a lot over my years of training. I switched gears then and focused on some accessory work. So I worked on these side lunges. I'm using a 30-pound dumbbell here, and I'm really just focusing on opening up my inner thighs. Again, reminding my body, hey, we're safe in this position. It's okay. Let's be able to do this even better and to allow it to trust. I did these reverse leg lifts then to help me for the movements like front lever and back lever that my friend had taught me a few months back after a competition. Of course, here are the rear delt flies then. I did 15 reps of these each arm then, and I did this for 3 sets. Then I realized it's been a long time, it's been a while since I've done just like strictly ab floor work. And I had gone through a phase for a while where I had done it nearly every day and my core just looked phenom. And it definitely felt stronger. So I decided, you know what? I should get back into that routine because I really got away from it. So I did 4 of these movements. I did 2 sets and 20 reps each movement. And I made sure to give my wrist a break, and I went down into a forearm plank instead of going into a full side plank on my hand. Then I finished out with having the sandbells once again on the knees in butterfly pose to open up the hips. And I had a lovely visitor in between. This is Luna Bean. And that leads us to today's workout. My wrist is definitely better than the day before, but I still wanted to give it a little bit more time to recover. So it's not a rush to get handstand or planche or anything. I just want to make sure I'm being smart about recovery because it is quite taxing on the body. I know I've shown these thoracic rolls before, but today, before I went to the gym, I found this video on posture, and it was talking about how in this particular movement, a lot of people don't tuck in their rib cage. And I'm pretty dang sure this is a cue that Justin had given me a little while back. But I definitely felt it way more when I focused on tucking in that rib cage in my mid back. So that was really a very cool cue that I recommend. Then although I'm taking a break from handstand for just a tiny bit of time, I made sure to work on that thoracic mid back opening with these wall slides and the reaches, which I've been holding for longer time rather than doing just a bunch of reps. Then I went on to do Jefferson curls, which I do really recommend because it's training your spine to be able to have load in this kind of position safely and strongly, because, you know, during real life when something happens, we're not always like flattening out our back and hinging at the hips. Sometimes when something falls and we catch it really fast, you know, it's not going to be perfect form. So this is another thing that I learned from Moves Method. And I'm using 30-pound dumbbells here. I started out by using, I think, 10-pound dumbbells. So this is something that is not to be rushed. And yeah, this movement's great though. In between reps of those, I went into the butterfly again, and I'm definitely seeing quite a bit of improvement and feeling a lot better. So that's really cool. And that video that I was just talking about with the foam roller, I recommend to watch it. Again, I'm going to link all the videos I talk about, I link down below. And it reminded me, oh, I need to do some suitcase carries. And I haven't done these for a while. So I used a 70-pound kettlebell, and I did this 3 times each arm. As I mentioned in previous videos, I always make sure to stretch in between, and because I'm usually not bumming on my phone in between sets. Instead, I'll take advantage of that time and I'll do some mobility or stretching or some flow with like a bow staff or something. But yeah, I always want to take advantage of the time that I have at the gym. Speaking of bow staff, I practiced the spin from the Hungar session that Matthew had brought up. I had learned it before he taught me, but the form was a little bit different with my hand grip, so I really focused on that. And then I tried practicing the strikes. I'm not sure about the form. I am just learning. This is the first time I'm really practicing it since Matthew taught me. And I will be posting that Hungar video in the future very soon. Then I continued to do abs and I did 20 reps each again. I did do the reverse crunches again, but I swapped out the small crunches for some around the world and then some side V-ups rather than the reach throughs. Then I continued with these weighted hinges and I was very excited to see in the mirror. You guys really can't see from this angle, but my left hip used to be so much higher than my right hip in this position, and now it's so much more even. So that was another huge win. I've been really focusing on strengthening my hips unilaterally, and my left side is definitely getting stronger, and I'm really focusing on opening up my right side more, so we are seeing progress. Then once again, I finished out with some single arm rear delt cable flies. I was able to go up in weight this time, so I did 12 reps instead of the 15 with heavier weight. And as you can see on the cable part, I added a 2.5 pound plate, so that's kind of a fun way to add it if the jump is too high in between plates. All right, guys, that is all for now. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, as well as if you want to follow me at Kitty Valkyrie on my Instagram, feel free to do that. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me know in the comments below if you guys learned anything from this video, if you're going to practice any of the things that I learned. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys so much with your comments and also your messages on Instagram. It's been wonderful. I love that we're learning together, we're growing together. And yeah, remember to give yourself grace on the days that you don't feel like working out and moving as much. It's okay. This is a long journey, hopefully. And be patient with yourself. So thank you so much.